Wi-Fi, AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the iHeartRadio app. I would like to say happy Monday, but is there such a thing as happy Monday if you're just coming off the weekend and you're just getting back to work, like me? Can you say happy Monday? It's almost apocryphal. It's almost disrespectful. There's nothing happy about a Monday. Don't get me wrong. I'm pleased that I have, breath in my body. I have movement of my limbs. I'm in my right mind, unless you ask my wife. She thinks I'm out of my mind. But it's Monday, and I know it's a little bit more difficult than most days to be able to get it going. I know when you woke up this morning, it just seemed like, gosh, where did the weekend go? It went kind of quickly. It did. And we're now on the other side of the newness of summer. It's almost like, August is almost here. You start winding down. I don't know, 12, when do your kids, or at least your daughter goes back to school?
Middle of August.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
See?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So summer is winding down for many folks because we're saying goodbye to July before the end of the week. Where did all the time go?
But what's your problem with Monday?
Mondays, rainy days and Mondays always get me down.
What?
I'm not big on Mondays. I'm not big on Mondays. It's not that I live for the weekend, but I like the weekend. I like it a lot.
I like a good Monday.
But look, I enjoy my job. I love what I do, but I'd much rather be home playing with my dogs. And if you didn't see, Riley and Benson posted some pictures of them on my Instagram at Mr. Mokelly, MrMokelly. To the business at hand, we're going to tell you about the top 5 most expensive states in America. And something tells me, I have a sneaking suspicion that California might be among the top 5. I don't know this for certain. I just believe that it's a distinct possibility. And in unfortunate news, we have to tell you about this man who was shot and killed in Lawndale at a 7-Eleven store. And I saw this story, and it's about maybe 2 miles at best from where I live. And I pass this 7-Eleven all the time when I'm going to do TV at Spectrum News. It's on the way. I know exactly where it is. So it hits home in a lot of ways. And when I tell you about the story, and we'll do that at the bottom of the hour, it's possibly wrong place, wrong time, wrong interaction with the wrong individual. And it highlights what oftentimes we talk about. Look, I'm the person who's always looking to de-escalate because you don't know who you're dealing with more times than not. And, something which started off with words, ended with gunfire, and a father of 4 lost his life unnecessarily, needlessly. We'll talk about that at the bottom of the hour. And before we close out the hour, we have to talk about Mayor Karen Bass. And she signed this accessibility commitment for 2028, the Olympics, where it will be, there'll be a level of accessibility for all the events for those who may be disabled or have some sort of limitation. And I think that's all well and good, but I think there's a larger discussion to have about Mayor Bass in this moment. And let me put it this way. It's nice, these, I would say, lesser important items. I'm not trying to be dismissive, but there's some big issues which need addressing. And until we get those things done, all these other things really don't matter. It's nice that the Olympics are coming and they'll be here in 2028. It's nice that she has a vision for a car-free Olympics. It's nice that there is now a level of accessibility for those who are disabled. But what about the big ticket items that you and I are concerned about on a day-to-day basis? What about those who are worried about crime, those who are worried about graffiti, those who are worried about just random acts of violence like I am, and I think you are as well? We're going to talk about that before the hour's over. And on the ones and twos tonight, running the board, our technical director is Tony Sorrentino. Wanted to welcome him to the show in for Stefan tonight. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, doing all right. Recovering.
Just want to let you know, if you hear anything that Mark thinks is funny, do not give him a rim shot. Okay?
I'll talk to you during the break, Tony.
Okay?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. If I should say anything which is remotely funny, you make sure you give me a rim shot because my name is on the show.
He needs the extra help, Tony. Go ahead and give it to him.
I'll wait.
Keep waiting, buddy.
Estamos esperando. Apúrate, Tony. Jeez Louise. Jesucristo. Hay prisa. Apúrate.
I don't know.
You're having a tough day with Monday, aren't you?
Like I said, I just got back from Comic-Con, man.
Oh, wait, you went to Comic-Con?
Yeah, I go every year.
Okay.
Every year.
Yeah, I've been going for like 25 years now.
So you have an extensive report for us at some point?
If you want one, it's not much. It was a lot of people there this year, and the panels weren't much. So,
well, we
there
know
a lot
that
of people were on the
panels
floor.
weren't much because there are a lot of studios which were not participating.
Diamond didn't even show up.
Well, Diamond doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That there was.
Were they going to do a panel on bankruptcy?
There was a big space in the floor where
Yeah.
Diamond should have been.
I mean, if they're going to do a panel on bankruptcy and how to possibly get a hold of your back orders, maybe they could have done that because there's a lot of people angry at Diamond. Like,
Still.
what happened to my collectibles?
Yep.
For people who don't know what that means, Diamond was the main distributor for the entire comics
In the entire
industry,
industry.
and they went bankrupt recently.
So what does that tell you about the future of the industry as a whole?
Well, it's always been shaky, for God's
It
sake.
ain't shaky anymore.
Now
It's shook.
Yeah, what's beyond shaky? I mean,
shooketh.
I think my former publisher, Dynamite, is trying to get what they're owed because Dynamite, I think, had to not give people their paychecks recently.
Ooh, not the ooh.
Well, we'll definitely hit that in the third hour. We have your box office returns. We all saw Fantastic Four First Steps, except for Tony. He was too busy at Comic-Con. He didn't have a chance. But I know that I saw it. I know that Tawala saw it. I know Mark, he gave his review of it on Friday as part of the Rana Report. And we'll give you our thoughts with respect to the box office totals. Marvel has a hit on its hands. No doubt.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. And we often talk about how expensive it is here in the state of California. And you may wonder, where does that stack up nationally? Found this list on CNBC and determined which states are the most expensive in 2025. CNBC relied on prices indexed by the Council for Community and Economic Research, as well as data that captured housing affordability and the rising costs of insurance. And I think that's important, if only because we have talked about the disasters across the country, but most notably here in California with the fires, and how insurance played a role in that, in extending, I would say, the tragedy, and how we talk about hurricanes and people may have hurricane insurance but not flood insurance, and how that impacts people and how they may get their lives and houses back in order. So let's look at this. The 5 most expensive states in the nation, according to CNBC, and I think everyone in the studio has a reference point for these states. Coming in at number 5. Oregon, or as some people say, Oregon. The Beaver State landed high on the list thanks in large part to the cost of housing. The amount of money going into mortgages and rent takes up over 30% of household income for a third of residents. On top of that, that a loaf of bread costs 12% more in Portland, Oregon than in Portland, Maine. 2025 Cost of Living Index by the Missouri Economic Research and Information Center found that Oregonians paid more for groceries than residents of all but 6 states and Puerto Rico. Coming in number 4. Most expensive states in America. Colorado, interestingly enough. Like so many Western states, the cost of home insurance is skyrocketing and getting increasingly hard to obtain. In some cases, amid devastating wildfires and other natural disasters, what we were just talking about. And so Colorado, it may seem like an idyllic place to live, but it's also a very expensive place to live. Coming in at number 3 of the most expensive states in the United States. There may be no state income tax, but it's still hella expensive in Florida. Long seen as an ideal destination for retirees with fixed incomes. Some may be surprised to find the Sunshine State so high on this list. Similar to Colorado, the increasing frequency and devastation from hurricanes, like I talked about, has led to what has been called the worst homeowners insurance crisis in the country. And unfortunately for Floridians, whopping insurance rates along with policy cancellations combined with some of the least affordable properties in the country. Coming in number 2 of the most expensive states in the United States. Hawaii. Interesting. I'm thinking like it's California, New York or something.
All the way to Hawaii?
Hawaii, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the upside is you can wake up to a paradisiacal view of stunning beaches, but it's offset by shocking costs at the grocery store, optometrists, and elsewhere. And that makes sense because everything is being shipped in. You have limited availability of stuff specific to Hawaii. And despite the high cost of goods, CNBC notes that Hawaii has not yet been battered with the insurance crisis that we were talking about with the other states as of yet.
That's going to ruin the view after a while, that price tag.
Look, I've never been to Hawaii. It's one of the few states that I've never visited. Tony, have you been to Hawaii?
Yeah, I went last year in April.
How was it?
It's just so good. Every bit of it. I would leave everything for there.
Okay, so it is as billed.
Oh, yeah.
Which island or islands?
We ended up, it was the whole family, kind of like big family. We went Oahu, and we went like on the North Shore area, so kind of just away from the city, just beach, and it just trees and green everywhere. And it rained and wind every day because the trade wind was coming right in that North Shore. I didn't care. I suffered through the rain. It was okay.
You got away from the touristy areas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like Waikiki is essentially San Diego.
Okay. I'll remember that. Mark, have you been to Hawaii?
No, my grandmother told me that she'd send me there for my honeymoon, but then I did a quick cost-benefit analysis and decided that would involve getting married. So there was no Hawaii.
You know the long-suffering one is listening right now.
She never listens. She doesn't care.
Okay.
She doesn't read my books. She doesn't listen to this station. I think I'm safe. I could say anything.
I hope you're right.
Let's do a little experiment here.
We're going to find out real quick if she's listening. Swell, have you been to Hawaii?
No, my kids have been a bunch of times.
Speaking of kids, your daughter has just gone around the world.
She did.
Where did she go? I mean, she went through most of Europe.
Her mother took her on a trip this summer. Don't ask me how she managed that because it's a mystery to me.
As long as it didn't come out of your pocket.
No. I told her, don't look at me. They went to London. They went to Paris. They went to Amsterdam. They went to Rome. Of course, somewhere else in Italy, somewhere else far off.
Mm-hmm.
And one other place, Florence. Yeah, they were just all over. They were just like, and here's the thing, it was Billie Eilish.
I was going to say there's a concert connection.
Yeah, Billie Eilish was in London, and then straight to Paris for Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Damn!
And Disneyland Paris.
Damn!
And then, of course, they did all the sites. They went to the Louvre. They went to the Eiffel Tower. They went to the place where the Pope is buried in
I don't know where he's buried, but by the Vatican.
By the Vatican. He didn't want to be buried in the Vatican. They went to the famous Saint whatever church. They went everywhere, man.
St. Peter's?
St. Peter's, yeah.
Okay.
St.
Yeah,
Peter's.
I've been to St. Peter's.
The Colosseum, they said it was blazing hot, like ungodly.
Yeah.
They did the canals in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you're like straight up like Robin Leach with your stuff or something.
No, man, look.
Lifestyles that are rich and famous.
No, it is amazing how my ex-wife is able to make things happen and make a way where there's no way. She was like, we're going to do this, and figured it out. Like literally, they got to Paris and she reached out to a friend, one of the owners of Live Nation.
Uh-huh.
Their kid goes to her school, and she was like, hey, so I'm out here in Paris. I see there's a Kendrick SZA show. 5 minutes later, someone touches her on the shoulder, said, Miss Sharp, right this way. Just escorted her right in, like backstage passes. Like literally, they are front row at the Kendrick SZA show.
Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, London, Paris, Italy, Naples,
Yeah.
Rome,
They did it all.
Amsterdam.
2 weeks abroad, living the life. Croissants, the way they're meant to be made. That's why they told me it was croissants. So I was like,
Oh, now they're going to correct you.
Yeah.
Because, I was in Paris for all of 5 minutes, and I know how to pronounce croissant.
And they were like one of the most amazing. They said their McDonald's, they have like a shrimp burger in Italy that is like, their menu is like avant-garde. They have like,
Yeah, they have like what was it from Pulp Fiction? Royale?
Yeah, like, but they have this one fry you can get. I think it's truffle butter on your fries at McDonald's. It's
Yes,
like,
you can.
wow. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, what?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And here we are talking about the 5 most expensive states, and your daughter and your ex-wife going all around the world.
All around the world.
That alimony's kicking your ass, ain't it? I'm just talking mess. And here is the most expensive state in all the United States, according to CNBC, after that. I would have thought it would be New York, but it's actually California.
We beat New York?
We beat New York, and New York didn't even end up in the top 5. I'm thinking like, wow. And I know it's the state. When we think of New York and cost of living, we sometimes think about New York City as opposed to like Buffalo or Albany or Rochester, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. From a state, maybe that balances it out. But I still think of New York as an expensive state to live.
I couldn't imagine Rochester being cheap.
I don't think of
because a lot of people are moving out to be in those areas.
Yeah, but still, it did not make it in the top 5. But again, this is according generally to real estate and insurance rates. So take it for what it's worth. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We have an unfortunate 7-Eleven update when we come back, and I'm not going to tell you I told you so, but just know it's on my mind throughout the whole story, the whole time. Okay, the whole time. I told you so. Well, I said it there.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Just to reset, I made it very clear. I don't go to 7-Eleven. I don't go in the daytime. I don't go at nighttime. I don't go at any time. Tuala Sharp, he likes to go there for the coffee. I warn him not to ever go to 7-Eleven. Now, if you want to go to AM PM, fine. Circle K, fine. Mom and Pop's, Mini Mart, fine. Valero, Dino Mart, fine. Stay your ass out of 7-Eleven.
I went just this week too, man. That's why the story really hurts.
And because I say that, and part of the reason I say that is because I think 7-Eleven is inherently dangerous. It, not only from the clientele, it's about how it's set up, and it's more conducive to it being robbed. There, unfortunately, was a man who went to a 7-Eleven not far from where I live. And as the story's told, I want to play it for you in just a second. As the story's told, he got into first a verbal altercation with some other man who came in later. They seemingly did not know each other, so there's no reason to believe that there's a personal connection. Then the verbal altercation turned into a physical altercation. And then the second man who walked into the 7-Eleven pulled a gun and then shot this gentleman, and he died on the scene. And here's basically how it went down.
Well, a trip to 7-Eleven turned deadly in Lawndale. A man was shot and killed inside the store on his way home from work. KCON News reporter Amanda Starantino spoke to the victim's wife this morning.
Oh, and it's only like 8 p.m. So we're talking about right around now that this would have happened. We're not saying like 11, 12, 1 in the morning. We're not saying like, oh my goodness, what are you doing there at 7-Eleven? No, this is just like after work, going home. The sun probably is still out to a certain degree. It's probably dusk. So it's not like you should expect anything bad should happen.
This scene now clear. The coroner removing the body just a few hours ago. But detectives are still in the search for a suspect who they say shot and killed a man inside the 7-Eleven overnight and then fled the scene. Now, the wife of the victim spoke with me this morning. She identified him as 34-year-old George Victoriano, a father of 4, living just a few blocks away. She's
34, father of 4, living just a few blocks away.
George Victoriano, a father of 4 living just a few blocks away. She says he stopped by the 7-Eleven last night on his way home to pick up some beers. She shared with us these pictures of their family, and she said she was expecting him home last night, but he never walked through the door. Kaylee Victoriano says they've been married since 2015. Together, they have 4 children, ages 2 through 11. She tells me George was a plumber just wrapping up a job Sunday night, and that this store is only blocks from their home. His family, including his parents and brothers, spent the night here at the scene, refusing to leave, while his body remained inside the store.
He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was living his life as he should. He was gainfully employed, plumber, honorable profession, taking care of his family, married with 4 kids, and this happens.
I'll show you what the scene looked like overnight. Sheriff's deputies responded just after 8 p.m. to reports of a shooting inside the convenience store. They found a man suffering from at least 1 gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene, and investigators say the victim and the suspect got into a verbal argument that escalated into a fight. And that's when the suspect pulled out a gun and opened fire.
And you have to know, when that second guy walked in, he obviously knew he had a gun. He was obviously looking for some sort of confrontation. And that's unfortunately when I talk to my sons, and Twala, you and I talked about this, about some very specific items.
Yep.
You know, you don't know what another person has on their mind. They may have come with the full intention of escalation, or might have a gun, might be drunk, might be high, might be both. And you just might be mad. And that's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The gunman, described only as a Hispanic male, then ran out, got into a car, and took off. The victim managed to run toward the back of the store but collapsed and died inside. This happened near Prairie Avenue and Manhattan Beach Boulevard, just behind Will Rogers Middle School and across from the Alondra Park baseball fields, a heavily residential area and a busy intersection.
But we can assume there is video. Every 7-Eleven has cameras everywhere. They know what this guy looks like. I think it's fair to assume they have his license plate.
Detectives have not officially released the victim's identity, but they say they are still on the search for the suspect that they say is on the run, and no arrests have been made just yet. Also,
well, if they know he's on the run, that means they know who it is. And they've already gone to his residence.
Investigators tell us that this was not a robbery, and they do not believe it to be gang-related. We know no employees were hurt during this altercation last night, but a family this morning torn apart.
That's my greatest fear. You're minding your business. You're probably living your life in a way that you should. And then you happen upon this one idiot. Just one. Just this one idiot who obviously had a gun on him and went into the store with intentions, and probably had no problem with escalating a verbal altercation because he knew he was strapped.
And it to me, walking into the 7-Eleven with a gun on him, that to me speaks to intent, that there was potentially intent to possibly rob this store. I know the police are saying that there was no robbery attempt, but that's just because he got into it with this man and decided, well, you know what, instead I'm going to take this guy's life. I'm not even going to move forward with what I was going to come in here for. I mean, it is a truly, truly heartbreaking thing. I mean, it does give me pause. It makes me think to myself, like, I could be in the stuff. Like, I went the other day, I got coffee. I could be in there minding my own business. And unfortunately, if someone was to have come in there and just started something with me, I do worry about, will I have that wherewithal to say, just walk away, leave it alone, or is my temper going to get the best of me?
I try never to be the aggressor. I try, but then someone may say the wrong thing and you may say something in response, not trying to take it there, but, you know, someone jaw-jacks you, you may jaw-jack them back, and then all of a sudden you've lost control of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always my concern. And you may have been planning to go home. That person was planning to shoot someone.
Right.
And that's why I always talk about safety in the sense of, before you are in a situation, game plan it out. For the person you haven't met, the situation that you are not in, that you cannot see. I think about going into a place, and if someone were to say something to me that I didn't like, trying not to respond, trying not to escalate. You know what? Yeah, I'm all those things. Have a nice day. So I can go on with the rest of my day and hopefully my life. And if it's escalated to something where I don't have a choice, then we're going to have to do what we have to do because I want to at least protect myself. But I'm hopefully going to be calm enough to not be a party to the escalation. Hopefully, because I'm trying to get home to someone for someone, and it has nothing to do with me. And that person should not be the final chapter to my story. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. And we're going to get into what Mayor Bass has been up to. She signed an accessibility commitment for 2028. The Olympics are on the way. And I'll give you my thoughts on that and also the larger picture as it represents Mayor Bass.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on social media and the iHeartRadio app. Come join us on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. Join the Mo Migos. That's the friends of the show in the Motown chat, where they're discussing anything and everything about the show and anything else which is going on in the world. Mayor Karen Bass, someone who is not extremely popular right now in the city of Los Angeles. I think that's fair to say. She had an event on Friday, and as part of the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, Mayor Bass and other civic leaders wanted to reaffirm their commitment to making sure that the 2028 Olympics would be accessible to all individuals, regardless of level of ability or disability.
Earlier today at Exposition Park, Mayor Bass signed a Games Host City Accessibility Commitment, a pledge to make sure the 2028 Olympic Games are inclusive for everyone, especially people with disabilities.
When you interact in the Paralympic Village and you see the challenges that people go through, not just to survive, but to excel and to thrive and to move into excellence in terms of being an athlete. So we will be ready. We will be ready for the Olympics, and we will be very ready for the Paralympics.
Also taking part in the event, Team USA paraswimmer Jack O'Neill, pushing for an Olympics that leaves behind a legacy of access.
I think it's incredible because, spectators are the heart of why athletes like us want to compete. And so making sure that people in wheelchairs and people with visual impairments or hearing impairments are able to witness these kind of things and not only just witness the games, but also enjoy the great city of Los Angeles far after the games are over is just of the utmost importance. And I'm glad that our organizing committee and leaders are on the same page as people with disabilities.
The commitment promises to plan and deliver access and inclusion for LA28, as well as collaborate with partnering agencies to ensure a seamless, accessible experience for everyone.
I'm not pushing it aside. I think that is very important. I think that is good that we have that level of commitment for those who may have a level of disability. And I want the Olympics to be available to everyone. But I think it's also dishonest if we don't have a genuine conversation about Los Angeles, about where we are as a city. And that is always connected to any presentation of the Olympics. In fact, I got an invite from the mayor's office to go to the event. I had other things to do on Friday, so I was not there. But if I would have had the opportunity to speak with Mayor Bass one-on-one, I would have broached this with her. And there's nothing I would say on this show that I would not say to a political figure directly to him or her. I try to be transparent and consistent. But I would go to Mayor Bass and say, hey, we can argue about the relief and how the fires were handled, but we cannot argue about the state of the city. We cannot deny when we walk out and see the graffiti every frickin' where. We cannot deny the homeless, even though you'll tell us that there's an improvement as far as the number of homeless people on the streets. I can't argue that, but I can say with the eyeball test, it's not discernibly different. It's not, if there are 2,000 fewer homeless, wonderful. As far as I know, same number of homeless people in my neighborhood. We still are dealing with these street takeovers, not all in the city of LA, some of it is the county of Los Angeles. And I understand that's not the mayor's jurisdiction, but all of these things are connected. And it's not just the street takeovers. We have the street takeovers plus the looting of the auto zones. This is something which a mayor may not be able to directly control, but it is still the responsibility of the mayor to address. It's the mayor to keep it front of mind, to make sure that she or he, in the case of other cities, is doing everything that they can to alleviate some of these problems or improve the quality of life for all people in Los Angeles. And as I am someone who lives in the city of Los Angeles, I am intimately connected to the health and welfare of the city. And it's fair to be able to say it's not where it needs to be. Now, here's the other side of that conversation. And there are those who say, well, she needs to resign, or we need different leadership. And then I have to remind people, most people who are asking her to resign, number one, do not live in the city of Los Angeles. Y'all talk a lot of mess from Orange County. Y'all talk a lot of mess from Ventura County. You're not even in the city of Los Angeles, but you want to tell Angelenos who to vote for. And speaking of who to vote for, there's no one else running. And I keep reminding people of that. There is no Republican alternative. They say, well, she should resign. And the people who tell me that she should resign don't even know what the process is afterwards. Do you know? Do you know who takes over? It's the vice mayor. No. It's the deputy mayor. No. It's the president of the city council. Or the president of the LA City Council can appoint someone until the time of a special election, which is not going to happen because the mayoral election is happening next June, fewer than 10 months from now. And the only person in the race that anyone knows the name of is, say it with me, Karen Bass. So the idea that either she's going to resign. Why would she? Because there's no one stopping her from being reelected as of right now. Well, what about Rick Caruso? His ass is not in the race. And also, I don't have any information to confirm this. I just have a sneaking suspicion, reading the tea leaves. I think he might be gearing up for a run for governor. I think he's looking more at the governor's mansion than he is, just mayor of Los Angeles. I think he set his sights much higher. And we'll see how that plays out and how that pans out. But yes, there are some real issues with the city of Los Angeles. Yes, Mayor Bass is the captain of the ship, and she is responsible for whatever happens on her ship or during her administration. But no, for all the people who are maddest, who are most angry, there is no viable alternative. There's no one running against her. And no, she's not going to resign. So you need to stop putting that on all your social media posts about, today's a good day for you to resign. And then what? And then what? She's not going to resign, but and then what? Resign so the president of LA City Council can pick someone else you don't like? Someone else you don't think will be able to do the job? What you should be posting is, hey, let's find a candidate. Hashtag find a candidate to run in June of 2026. Because all this talk about resign, or I forgot even the recall effort. Remember that? That fell by the wayside. I don't think they're even doing that anymore. I don't think they're even trying to collect signatures anymore. That went nowhere. So what does it tell you? It's incumbent upon the individuals who care most about the change to do something. I'm just a radio host. All I can do is complain on air and tell you what is missing in the dialogue. I can tell you what needs to be done in the city. I can reiterate things that you've told me and say, Mo, you need to say this on the air. I'm saying it on the air. There's too much graffiti. There's too much crime. There's too much. LA's going to hell in the handbasket. Okay. It's said every single day. But what is the solution? We need new leadership. Okay, then who's running? She needs to resign. Well, then who's going to take her place? And nobody ever has a reasonable answer. Not one person, because you haven't actually looked into the issue. For as much as you may not like Mayor Bass, you don't even know how to change it. You haven't even offered up a different candidate to vote for. You want her to resign and don't even know the process of what happens afterward. I just want her out. Okay. So what happens if the president of the LA City Council decides to choose Karen Bass? Because that is in the purview of the president of the LA City Council. You can keep spinning your wheels. You can keep sending me hate mail. But you know I'm right. KFI AM 640, we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.